Hi. Um, I'm recording this much later. Um, this section of the video, while I was editing it, I was listening to it and I was like, this is really depressing. And I realized that not many people like want to be depressed like that. So I just wanted to record a quick like disclaimer, I guess. Content warning, I guess would be a better term. Um, this section's a bit heavy. It's not any like I'm not gonna be talking about like, but oh wow, I didn't mean to say that. I'm not gonna be talking about anything that's like explicit. There are some slightly explicit bits. Not like no, we're not gonna be talking about like blood or guts or anything. But it's just if you're a sad person and you're already living a sad life, you might not want to hear this right now. And that's okay. Um but if you it's not from my perspective, it's just me musing on my own mortality and my impact on this world. I guess that's the biggest content warning I can give. The most explicit content warning I can give. So if those are heavy subjects for you, you can click off. It's okay. This video is probably not that important to you. Um, if you're still watching, please keep watching. I guess I've been leaving notes for a very long time. I really demean it when I say like I don't. I'm not someone who. I'm a very private person. I've been thinking about uploading and like putting my face on social media for a really long time, but on most social media, I'm just anonymous. Anonymous in the way that most people are on social media. You know, growing up in a world where like you told that you didn't give out your real name on social media, or you didn't do that, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that. There are a lot of things you didn't do on social media, and I tend to not do those things because why the fuck would I? Um, so when I'm just like lurking on Twitter, I have a different name than the one on this account. You could probably find it. I'm not gonna. Don't do that, please. I really like my privacy. Um, I'm not gonna test you. I'm not gonna ask you to. I know I just brought the question into the aether. I would really like it if you didn't. To the 5 people that are gonna watch this, um, I always imagine myself doing more. When I eventually did get around to recording this, I always imagine myself doing some more like TikTok-y stuff, like looking at the camera with like my eyes wide and going, I had no I had no idea I made this mistake with my art. And then talking about some menial tiny mistake with my art. By the way, this bed behind me is not it looks way shorter than it is. This is a queen bed. The perspective is just fucked up. I got roasted on Twitter. I used to post my face. I used to stream on Twitch. I used to stream on Twitch. I used to post my face. I used to stream on Twitch when I was a kid. When I was a kid. Like 4 years, 5 years ago now. And the perspective on my bed is fucked up. I think it was actually the same bed, but this is a queen size behind me. I got cooked because someone thought that this was a twin. I don't sleep on twins. I'm very tall. I'm like I'm 6 foot something. I'm getting off topic. But my point is I'm a very private person. I don't really talk to many people. Please don't find my identity. This is me trying to be more open with who I am because I know I'm a good person. I know people like talking to me. I have friends, probably. I have consistent people who I hang out with who laugh at my jokes. Um, but I think that putting my face into your eyeballs is going to do good things for my career. And I think that putting my face into the internet's eyeballs gives me an existence. You ever hear that saying, like, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to see it, does it make a sound? When I was younger, I never really understood it, but I kind of get it as like I age. I've spent like 2 decades on this earth, and I know I'm still a kid. I'm aware that I'm a kid. Um, as I age, because I am aging, no matter how tiny it is. As I age, I that saying makes more sense to me. It's saying like if if I just died somewhere. Who the fuck would know? If I didn't know anybody, like imagine I'm like 50. Most of the people who I love are gone out of my life for, in this terrible, terrible universe. And I just walk into the ocean on a random Sunday. No one's at the beach. On a random Sunday, I just walk into the ocean and I drown and I sink to the bottom. Realistically, no one's finding me for another 100 years. And for those 100 years, no one's going, oh, there might be a body at the bottom of the, I mean, well, in this hypothetical situation, yes, there are plenty of bodies at the bottom of the ocean, but those are ephemeral. They don't really exist. And notably, they don't have names. I'm saying if I were to die tomorrow in that ocean, I would you would not be able to tell the difference, except I would have all my flesh on me. You would not be able to tell the difference realistically between me and some random other guy, or you, or your mama. You would probably notice your mom being gone, but you wouldn't. They don't exist. They don't exist. There's no existence there. I'm not making any sense. I know I'm not making any sense. There's no existence there. You know they could exist in the same way that you know aliens could exist. Like it's a statistical. It would be statistically weird for there to be no aliens in the entire universe ever, especially considering that they've had, however many years the universe has existed to evolve. If we calculate like the amount of time it would take for the light to get here, it makes sense that we don't see any aliens. And also, if we calculate like the places that we're looking and how long we've been looking for, and I'm not gonna. It makes sense that you would argue with the possibility of there being aliens in the universe, but they don't exist. They don't touch your day to day life. You don't know them. In the same way, you don't know like Markiplier's cousin. You know they exist. Markiplier probably has cousins. They're not real. They're not a thing that you were thinking about before this. Me, you were not thinking about me before you saw my face. This is how advertising works. I'm actually really interested in the advertising into that, like how the human brain like clings on the concepts. Because if I tell you don't think of a purple polar bear, you're gonna think of a purple polar bear. The same thing happens with advertising. If I see an ad for a company and the company is like, there's this one company that does like, I think it's a gas company or something. I'm advertising for them right now. I'm gonna explain. There's this gas company, right, that does like advertisements that's like, we're doing good things for the environment. And they're not doing good things for the environment. It's a fucking gas company. They literally put tons of CO, tons. Do you know how heavy CO2 is? It's not very fucking heavy. In fact, it floats. Tons. It's not very heavy. It's a lot of CO2. Of CO2. And they're the main niggas getting that shit out the ground. But they're not doing good things for the environment. But they're on an advertisement saying, "Oh, we're doing good things for the environment." The fact that I'm talking to you about this company is advertisement for them. The fact that we even consider this company to exist and we know that they're doing things is advertisement for them. The fact that we are even like having this discussion about the fact that I'm having this discussion to you about advertising is doing something for them. The fact that we're having this discussion right now is doing something for me because it's putting me in your brain. And you are going to think of my face, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, every time you think of that concept. That's how advertising works. That's how they get you. Not with putting good thoughts about a company into your mind, but by getting you to think about that company. And when you go, oh, I need gas, you're gonna go with the one that you recognize before you go with the one that's, foreign. Foreign isn't like not familiar, uh like alien. Um a better word a better word to use would have been not familiar. Uh but you're gonna go with the one that you recognize first. If it were up to you subscribing, liking the video. No. If it was up to you subscribing and liking the video, which is an example I'm using, I'm actually gonna use a different example because I don't like saying those words. If it was up to you and you had to pick faces from a board of faces you like the most, I don't care how hot you think I am, you would probably pick me before you pick some random ass dude that you've never seen before. Not because that random ass dude is particularly ugly and not because I'm particularly hot, even though I do consider myself attractive. I'm jerking myself off. But it's because you've seen my face before. I now exist in your mind. Me existing in your mind gives me an existence that I didn't have before. Now, if I fall in the forest, someone will hear it, which is a really roundabout way of saying that I need to upload more. But I've been recording for like 20 minutes. I expected to maybe record for 5. So, yeah. Um, read a book soon. Anything at all. Don't subscribe to me. Bye.